All right, welcome to the Unlocked Topic Network, home of the Let Me Tell You Something segment. I'm your host, Smoke Decent. Shouts out to my co-host, CC Lachey. You already know how it go, man. We right here on the Unlocked Topic Network where this is more than a podcast. We more like family. Let's go, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in today. You know what I'm saying? Once again, it's your host, Smoke Decent, man, and I want to do something a little bit different today. Not so different. We just going to switch up the routine and the way of speaking, you know what I'm saying? But before we get into that, for the newcomers here, those who may not know, right here on the Unlocked Topic podcast, so we kind of all around in the way of speaking, because we want to bring you entertainment news, the trending topic of the day, of the week, of the year. We want to talk about these musical artists, all genres of music, from hip-hop to R&B, reggae, it doesn't matter. We want to shine the light on them, industry-wise and locally. With that being said, we love to bring you the entertainment news because we know you love to hear that. It's part of the culture, so we're going to bring you the culture here on the Unlocked Topic Network, but also we like to build awareness in the community. So we are the podcast that talks about things you may not hear on other podcasts in our culture, things like mental health and youth development and, just bringing you different stories that are meant to build you up, not tear you down. We also like to give you a quick news break throughout our show, where we just bring you some quick news on what's going on real quick, something that we feel like needs to be brought to attention. And last but not least, we give you the Netflix picks. We're here at the Unlocked Topic Network. We like to give you our pick of Netflix movies, TV shows, series, whatever it may be, that are a good pick right now today for your Netflix and chill moment. So we like to bring awareness to that too, and shouts to Netflix, man. They ought to give me an endorsement for that one, you know what I'm saying? But so what we're going to do different today, though, is we normally do our Netflix picks at the end of the show. But today, we're going to jump into some Netflix picks, man. We're going to see what we got good on the board today as far as Netflix and chill go. Let's go to our paperwork. So first on the board, we have a movie called The Woman in Cabin 10. So yeah, I watched it myself already. The Woman in Cabin 10. That's a real good suspenseful movie. Here at the Unlocked Topic Network, we don't tell the movie. We want to build awareness and bring it to your attention, but we don't want to talk the movie, man. We want y'all guys to be able to enjoy it. What I can say about The Woman in Cabin 10 is that it's very suspenseful. It'll keep you glued to the TV. You don't want to miss much if you're watching it, because there's certain things that you need to know, in order to stay engaged with the movie. So real good watch. Once again, that's The Woman in Cabin 10. Second on our list, we got a series. I like to bring you series sometimes too, because every now and then we just need to sit back and binge watch some TV real quick, clear our mind a little bit, stay out the way. So for number 2 on the Netflix picks is a series called Altered Carbon. That's real good. I'm episode 3, 4 maybe, in right now, because I actually thought that was a movie. I could have sworn I saw a movie before called Altered Carbon. So I think that is a movie, and they've broken it down to episodes and made a TV show out of it, and it's a very good watch. So if you want to Netflix and chill on some binge-worthy TV, that's a good one for you. And last but not least, we want to bring you to the number 1 movie on Netflix right now, and it's called The Perfect Neighbor. Ooh, Perfect Neighbor, you guys, 2025. It's this one is more so like a documentary in the way of speaking. It's kind of, most of the film is, the footage of the film anyway, is police body cam footage. So let's start there. When you got a whole movie that's based off of the body cam footage of cops that had to take care of a certain situation, or had to investigate rather certain situations in the community, it's going to be kind of drama filled and a glued to your seat type of watch. And it's called The Perfect Neighbor, and it's also the reason why I wanted to start our Netflix picks today first, y'all, because today on the Unlocked Topic, one of our Netflix picks just so happens to also be the topic, you guys. So yeah, that was our Netflix picks right there. But boom, The Perfect Neighbor, y'all. Let's jump into it, man. Right here at the Unlocked Topic Network with your host, Smoke Decent, man. While you at it right now, man, before we jump into this topic, go ahead and hit that comment, subscribe, all that. You know how it go, man. Run up the algorithm for me real quick. Let's keep this going, man. Hit that notification button so you can keep up with all these stories that I'm about to bring y'all right here on the Unlocked Topic Network. Man, the movie on Netflix is called The Perfect Neighbor. Hold up, y'all. This one got me. I gotta spark up for this one. So The Perfect Neighbor, man. Pretty much this movie. Now, this one is a little bit awkward for me because, you know, we don't like to tell the unlocked topic. We don't like to tell the movie, you know. But being is that one of these movies is our topic for today, which is called The Perfect Neighbor. We have to dig into it a little bit. We have to do a deep dive into this movie, so you guys are going to hear a little bit about the movie, and I hope I don't ruin it for you guys. But what I can tell you, I do have to point out a couple things and say a few things in order to make, you know, this make sense for you guys. So pretty much the movie The Perfect Neighbor, it's revolved around a small community. It's in Florida, a small community in Florida. I'm going to jump into my notes, but just to give y'all a quick breakdown real quick. You know, it's a small community in Florida where it seems to be a tight-knit community. And all the neighbors are familiar with one another. And you guys know there's always that one neighbor or two in the community that want to make problems, whether it be because of the things that adults are doing in the community or the things that the children are doing in the community. Some people are just not children people, if you understand what I'm saying. Some people just cannot deal with kids, whether the kids are good behavior or bad behavior children. Some people just cannot deal with them, and it can become a problem. So that's almost the basis for the movie, The Perfect Neighbor. So, okay. So what goes on in this movie? We're going to break this down for you guys. What goes on in this movie, it's a woman named Susan Lorintz. Let's see where we're at here. Yes, Susan Lorintz. And she's a Caucasian lady. She's a white lady that moved into a neighborhood. I want to say they said she had been there prior to the incident that we're leading up to. I think she had been there for about 2 years. So her name is Susan Lorintz. There are a lot of kids in the neighborhood, and the mother of 4 of those kids, granted, one of those kids was like an infant, so that kid wasn't too active in the neighborhood, but the mother of a few of those kids was a lady by the name of, I apologize if I'm pronouncing her name wrong to my viewers and to her family, but her name is AJike Owens. That's AJike. As a matter of fact, it seems like watching the footage, the family community just all calls her AJ. So we have AJ Owens, who's the colored woman, the black lady, the mother of some children in the community. And we have Susan Lorintz, who is a white lady, the neighbor who's in the community who has been complaining about the children. Okay, so to jump right into it. So the lady lives in the community, and it's a portion of land where, you know, she's renting, because it comes with her property that she's renting. So that portion of land, she doesn't want the kids to play in that portion of land. Now, the community, the little neighborhood, is familiar with the kids playing in there. And eyewitness accounts all say that the kids play football over in there in that open field. Or they, you know, hide and seek. Normal kid activity, you know. So, where we at here? I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to sound like we pausing, but I'm just going through the notes because I want to bring y'all this. This one touching me right here. So the eyewitness accounts know that the children play in the neighborhood. No one has a problem with this. You know, this is one of the communities where the kids outside, and this one's mother is looking after the other kids as well. Like, everyone knows everyone type of neighborhood is what it seems like to me. So the lady Susan, she doesn't want the kids playing over there. So she calls the police. Constantly the police has to come out into this neighborhood and speak with her. There's nothing they could do because no laws are being broken. So the most they could do is just keep writing police reports. And I mean, if you listen to the body cam footage of Susan speaking on what the incident is going on, it's ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to go word for word because I don't want to talk the whole movie, but I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure it'll touch you. pardon my language, but it pissed me off. It really did. Just hearing her accounts of why she's calling the police down there. Okay, so now let's jump into the climax of this thing. We're not going to make this too long, ladies and gentlemen, because I cannot tell the full movie. I do not want to, break the Netflix pick rules, But, so what happens is, I guess Mrs. AJike Owens, her son must have left a tablet over there in the play area where the kids normally play at. So, he goes over there to retrieve the tablet. Once he goes to retrieve the tablet, Susan comes out of her house screaming and yelling at the kids. Once again, there's eyewitness accounts that this lady talks very rude to the children in the neighborhood. She calls them names and uses curse words when she's addressing them, calls them retards and calls the black kids the N-word, Shit, this the Unlocked Topic Network. We can say it on my show, man. She run around calling the kids nigga and all that, So, of course, the parents in the neighborhood probably aren't fond of her at all, don't like it, but no one has harmed her. The most that's happened is, parents have came over to her to speak to her about what's going on with the kids. One of the neighbors, and this one was, I liked the way she carried this, because one of the neighbors said, when it happened with her child, she went over there to speak with her and she knocked on the door, and Susan comes out there, irate the way that she normally is. And the neighbor said she just tells her, hey, I know kids could be kids, and I don't know what happened out here because I wasn't out here. So I'm just coming to talk to you to see what went on so I can correct my child if he's in the wrong, just the way that an adult, especially in a tight-knit community and neighborhood, should carry himself. So, boom, back into the deep dive. So the little boy goes to retrieve his tablet that he left there. Susan comes out screaming and yelling at the kids. And then she picks up a skate. The little boy gets his tablet. The little boy tells her to give me my tablet. She has the tablet at this point. The little boy tells her, in his words, drop my tablet. So she does that, just that. She drops the tablet, and the little boy's brother's there. I'm not sure if they had an exchange of words. Me knowing children, I'm sure they did, After that, you drop my tablet and all that. And so then she picks up a skate and she throws the skate at the children. At this point, one brother tells the other little brother, I remember the little brother's name too. His name was Isaac. Everyone called him Izzy on the documentary. So he tells Izzy to go get mom. So he runs to get his mother, and he tells his mother, before we get into that, she throws the skate at him, and they did have words. They did have a back and forth. She throws the skate at Izzy, and Izzy's older brother steps in and is like, no, don't do that to my brother. Throw it at me. Izzy, go get mom. Susan, she gets an umbrella. She retrieves an umbrella from her house, and then she comes out and she swings the umbrella at the children after throwing the skate at them, after cursing them out and countless other things. So Izzy goes to get his mother. Once he goes to get his mother comes to Miss Susan's house, and she attempts to do just like I said the other neighbor did prior in these incidents, where she comes over there to, hold on, you guys. I'm looking at my notes. I want to make sure I'm giving this to you guys the right way. Unlocked Topic Network, man. Please like, comment, and subscribe. So she comes over there and she knocks on Susan's door. Of course, Susan doesn't open the door, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't want to be an adult about the situation. And obviously, she could not do that because a lot of the footage I saw anyway, it just showed that her explanation of why she's calling really didn't make much sense. And, but, so she knocks on the door. Susan doesn't come to the door. She proceeds to bang on the door, and I'm pretty sure she's yelling something on the lines of, come outside. And she did probably curse her to come outside, you B-word. I'm pretty sure of that, because anyone would be angry when your kids come and tell you that this adult just threw a skate at me and swung umbrella my way. So the mother's Mrs. AJ is knocking on the door, and Susan doesn't answer the door. Instead, what Susan decides to do, ladies and gentlemen, is she grabs a little pistol and she shoots through the door, striking Miss AJike Owens in the right shoulder, chest area, where she laid there on the ground. At this point, her son Izzy He runs to the neighbor's house. He's banging frantically on the door for someone to please call 911. His mom has been shot. That's when the neighbors and everyone comes out, and of course the police are on the way. By now, the police are used to being at this residence, because Susan calls them over at least twice a week. They come out for Susan complaining about the kids, who seems to only be being kids. So Susan shoots through the door. She never comes outside. She shoots through the door, striking AJike Owens, leaving her wounded from a gunshot wound. Her son runs to get help. Police finally show up. They do detain Miss Susan. And this is where everything started just, rubbing me a little bit the wrong way. And I don't want to put a bad bug on the police department, because I'm not saying that they did a bad job that time. It actually seemed like they understood everything that the rest of the community was saying each time that they came out there. It really did look like they were tired of having to coming out there for Miss Susan. So they detain her, and of course they rushes AJ off to the hospital to receive treatment for her gunshot wound. They call the children's father to come, of course, to be with his children at this moment. And that's when he get the news that Miss AJike Owens did not survive her gunshot wound. That she dies from the single gunshot wound received from Susan Lorintz through her house door. Now, I'm going to stop right there from at least what my notes say, and I'm just going to jump into some freestyle dialogue real quick, where I know a lot of people would probably say that self-defense, in a way of speaking, the lady was over there beating on Susan's door. And once again, you got to break down the whole story where her child was threatened to the point that he was harmed. And so, of course, the mother is supposed to be a mother and protect and go over there. Me, myself, personal perspective of it, I don't feel like she was wrong for going to the neighbor to see what is the problem with my child. Why did you attack my child? So, yeah, let's jump back into our notes. She did not survive. She did not survive. Now, Dad has to tell the children that she did not survive. This is when my heart broke, ladies and gentlemen. To watch these kids, I'm not sure the age of the children, but to watch them break. To watch, before the young boy Izzy even found out that his mother was deceased, the police and the neighbors was checking on him, and they asked me, is he all right? And he said, no, I'm not all right. No, he said, I am all right, but my heart is just broken. So let's pause there for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I am all right, but my heart is just broken. Words of a young male who just watched his mother get shot. Unlocked Topic Network. All right, y'all, let's jump into some quick news real quick. What we have on the board today. It looks like actress Diane Keaton, pardon me, actress Diane Keaton has passed away, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she's played major roles in major films such as The Godfather 1 and The Godfather 2 and many more films. I'm not sure of the cause of death now. The sources do say that whatever the cause may have been, I'm going to look back into that for y'all, but whatever the cause may have been, if it was health reasons or whatever it was, it had to be something that was sudden, because there wasn't like a scare or a lead up to this thing. So yeah, quick news today. Actress Diane Keaton has passed away. Also on the board today, we have an update on this NBA YoungBoy situation in Atlanta, where, if you are unfamiliar with it, a young boy just had a concert in Atlanta recently, and figures from the city of Atlanta presented him with an award. They came on stage and they spoke with him, and it was a misunderstanding that they had given him the key to the city. But that was not the case. They were some representatives of Georgia, and they was coming to give him an award. And what they're trying to do is get him to promote the Stop the Violence movement. You know, young boy is a very powerful young man. The youth really do look up to him. So I think they're trying to make an attempt to get him to promote the whole fact of stop the violence, do not bring guns to school, things of that nature, trying to save the youth. And it was a misunderstanding that he had been given the key to the city, but more state officials had spoken out to just, confirm what was really going on, that it wasn't the key to the city, that it was pretty much an award, I guess you want to say, or a certificate, just acknowledging his accolades and, you know, where he's at in life and where they want him to be, where he should go in life if he stays on the right track, you know. So yeah, I wanted to update that for you guys because there was a lot of you know, some angry folks. I'm pretty sure there were some folks from Atlanta that were angry because once NBA YoungBoy received a certificate from the electives of Georgia, he then proceeded. The very next song on his show was the diss record called I Hate YoungBoy towards Dirk. The diss record towards Dirk, the whole OTF. He disses the fallen rapper King Von. Rest in peace to King Von, and my condolences to his family and children. Yeah, but he disses King Von. He goes as far in this song as to diss other artists from where he's from Baton Rouge. Like he dissed Boosie on the song. It was a slight diss to Boosie though. I don't think Boosie would take it like that. It was a slight diss to Boosie, and I know Boosie didn't take it like that because Boosie was actually at the show. He actually performed there. So I mean, man, YoungBoy is something different when you could perform a diss record. When you're dissing people that's right there, that's doing the show with you, you got them on the tour and you're dissing them, man. It's just young guys different, you know. So yeah, just to clear that up, man, there was a lot of disgruntled people thinking that YoungBoy had received the key to the city and then turn around and diss the city, major artists from the city such as Lil Baby and 21 Savage. So there was disgruntled folks about that, but they did clear it up and say he did not receive the key to the city. He just received a certificate, per se, to try to stop the violence. So yeah, and I hope it works. I actually hope it works. Like I said, YoungBoy is a very powerful young music mogul right now, and the youth definitely looks up to him. He's kind of leading that wave. So if he can help change the trajectory of things and, you know, stop the violence, prevent these children from taking guns to school, and prevent them from just having a gun, period. We wish them the best on that, and I wish them the most success. I wish the city of Atlanta, the state of Georgia, the most successful with that. I hope they accomplish that. It's very well needed. So yeah, that's today's quick news. Not much today. Just once again, actress Diane Keaton has passed away of a sudden death, and NBA YoungBoy was given a certificate at his Atlanta concert. So yeah, thanks everybody for tapping in and checking out the quick news. And you know, we're going to give you more as we get it. But yeah, let's get back into our story, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. So yeah, getting back to Mrs. AJ and Mrs. Susan, man, sad stories that we left off with Susan shooting through the door, striking AJ, and her kids going for help, the father coming and finding out that his ex, AJ, his kid's mother did not make it, and he has to break the news to his kids. Upon him breaking the news to his kids, of course, they break down. They you know, they get weak in their knees, man. It's one of the worst things ever to find out that your mother has passed away, and especially for the young man who watched it happen. So, yeah, so at this time, they take Susan into the interrogation room. They book her. And this is where things get kind of sketchy for me, man. This is where it kind of threw me off, you know, because they takes her into the interrogation room, and she's very nonchalant in there. She's not showing any signs of sympathy or any signs that she feels sorry for what just occurred. She's pretty much just in there just having a conversation with these guys, you know. And what threw me off the most was she was saying stuff like, when they asked her a question like, well, what happened when she was banging on the door? Miss Susan Lorintz had the nerve to say things such as, I just want her to go away. I told her to just go away. Well, Miss Susan, you definitely made her go away, and in a way where she'll never return again. So you got your wish on that. Also, when they asked her, well, they didn't ask her, they was informing her that, well, let's not go there yet. Let's not go there yet. So in this first interrogation, you guys, so they're interrogating Miss Susan, and I mean, this interrogation is kind of going smooth. Once again, I'm not saying that the police were being biased or anything like that, but I will state right here on the Unlocked Topic Network that I do feel like the police in this particular town of Florida were being real easy on Miss Susan once they got her in there. And maybe because it's an elder white woman, they were being easy on her. They weren't raising their voices. They weren't being forceful about anything. And actually, it was a very peaceful interrogation. I'm not even gonna call it interrogation. It was a very peaceful conversation. And then they asked her, would she like to go back home? Of course, she would probably be in danger when she goes back home. But what they didn't do at this time was they did not book her. They did not lock her up. The police actually gave Miss Susan Lorintz a ride back to the home, back to her home. They protected her so she could get in there. They asked her, they're like, where do we go from here? And she had the nerve to say, I've never been through anything like this before, and this is just killing me. Well, Miss Susan Lorintz, you really did just kill someone, So if this interrogation and the fact that you're going through something that you've never been through before is killing you, then good, so be it. Maybe you could feel a little bit of what you've made others feel during this situation. So boom, let's fast forward one more time, ladies and gentlemen. The police give Miss Susan a ride home. She makes it home. She actually asks the police, she tells them, I have a spare house key. Once I go in the house, I'm going to get you guys to lock me in the house. So they takes her home. And of course, the neighbors are distraught. So there's yelling in the neighborhood and people are yelling things across the street at her. And probably a vandalism to property. I'm pretty sure of it. You know what I mean? And so the police had been getting called out there again for that, like now to protect Miss Susan. And it's some disgruntled neighbors out there who are speaking their piece of how they feel about the situation. And I think Susan's family eventually comes to get her, to pick her up from the residence and get her out of harm's way. So they take Miss Susan on. So the police get to doing their investigation of this crime, ladies and gentlemen. And it gets brought to their attention that Miss Susan Lorintz has recently been searching up the stand your ground laws of Florida. She's been searching and researching the self-defense rights and almost pretty much searching how to kill or shoot someone and get away with it, in a way of speaking. The time frame of the search, the way she went about things, everything kind of read, this is a setup. This is a setup. So yeah, so then the police, they take her back in for another interrogation. Now this is where I want to pat them on their backs, because the first interrogation, I just felt like they were way too easy on Miss Susan as far as getting her side of the story and what really happened out there. I felt like that was anyone else of another race, nationality, and things like that. I feel like the police would have been a lot more forceful with their interrogation. So I want to salute them for the second one, where they tried to do their job a little better. So they are asking her more questions about the online search of the stand your ground law. She does tell them that she's familiar with it, and she does let them know that she had recently looked that up. But she gives them some cockamamie excuse. The reason why she looked it up because someone was talking about it or something odd, something odd that makes no sense again. And they kind of breaks it down. Like they ask her, well, like, this is starting to look like a setup, Miss Susan. Do you understand why we say that? She doesn't understand why they think it's a setup, but it's the time frame of things. You know what I'm saying? You do this search on gun rights and self-defense and to stand your ground in Florida, and then you go outside and you antagonize the kids like you do every day in this neighborhood. You're just provoking a reaction from these folks, and you go out there, you antagonize these kids, and you throw the skate at the young man and all that. And they tell her that I'm going to go get your mom. And she actually tells the police this in her first interrogation, that she told the kids, go get your mother. I want to talk to an adult anyway. When usually the adults come to talk to her, she runs in the house. The adults cannot have an adult conversation with her about what occurred. So it was just kind of ironic that now it's like, go get your mother. Yes, the same lady that Miss Susan is trying to make accusations about her harming her. She says that this lady has harmed her before through a sign or something at her, but now she's saying, go get your mother. Go get her. The little boys go get the mom. The mom comes over there. Miss AJ bangs on the door, and it gets to the point I've told y'all. Miss AJ bangs on the door. Susan shoots through the door, kills Miss AJ. So now the police is more so saying that they are starting to feel like this was a setup, that she provoked all of this in order to be able to shoot someone. And it definitely looks that way. So, once again, I feel like, what's the word I'm looking for, you guys? Because I do not want to sound racist on my show. I love everybody. Y'all know the Unlocked Topic Network is more than a podcast. We're more like family to all of you guys. So I don't want to sound racist or anything like that. But I feel like she was getting treated real easy due to her being an elder white woman. So when they get to the climax of the second interrogation and they're letting her know that she is going to be charged with manslaughter, Miss Susan Lorintz tells the officers in the interrogation room no. They tell her to stand up, Miss Susan. We got to put these handcuffs on you. We're going to take you down here. Well, first they didn't even say they were going to put in hand. Like I said, they were very easy with this lady. They didn't try to put handcuffs on her. They asked her to stand up and walk with this deputy to another department to pretty much get booked in, you know. And Miss Susan Lorintz told them no. She said, I'm sorry, you guys, but I cannot do that. She continuously said, no, I'm not going to go. She did this for at least 5 to 10 minutes. No, I'm not going. There was no force of action. There was no deputy to reach down and grab her and spin her around and grab her arm and, you know, start trying to put the handcuffs on her and then accuse her of resisting like they do to so many others, so many other times. So none of that happened. They continuously asked her, could she please stand up? Could she please stand up? Could we go? Could we go? And she then begins to say things like, well, just kill me. And you know, when you know that it's over with and you just get to saying anything out of your mouth. That's what Mrs. Susan Lorintz proceeded to do. And they finally, of course, they got her up and they got her in cuffs and they took her on off to be processed. So, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Susan finally gets processed. This family, the community, everyone has been fighting for justice for Mrs. AJ. And it looks like they were finally going to get it. And I hate to tell the story. I really want you guys to go to Netflix, man, and check out this Netflix pick, man, and leave your thoughts and comments on the story in my comment section, man. Watch it and then come back to this video and let me know what you think. But I can tell you that it ended with a very happy moment, ladies and gentlemen. Well, none of this is happy. None of this is a good thing, but it ended with some satisfactory for the victim's family and the rest of the community. I'm not going to give it away, guys. I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened, what the judge said, what the police said. But we're going to end this story with the fact that Mrs. Susan finally did get arrested for the crime of shooting and killing Mrs. AJ. The community and the family members were finally able to get some satisfaction in knowing that justice could be on the way. And hopefully Miss AJ would be able to rest in peace knowing her killer will see their day in court. So yes, my love and condolences to the family. Once again, Miss AJ had 4 children. My love and condolences to them. I want you guys to be strong. My message to the little boys who felt guilty about it, felt like this may have been their fault. You guys were only being kids. This is not your fault. Do not take responsibility for someone else's ignorance. The whole community, including you kids who are just kids, knew that this lady, it was definitely something wrong with this lady. This is all her. This is not none of you guys doing. This wasn't your mother's doing. This wasn't your father's doing. This wasn't your friends doing or anyone else in the community doing. This was Mrs. Susan Lorintz doing. This is not your fault, young man. Izzy, be strong, young boy. I feel like the rest of your family is going to need you eventually one day. When you go through a traumatizing situation like that, it could either make you or break you. I pray and I hope that it makes you, young man. To the rest of the community there in Florida, my condolences to you guys. I could tell that y'all was a tight-knit community. Everyone was pretty familiar with one another, so my condolences to you guys. You guys try to stay strong. I hope that the town, the community never has to go through anything like that again. To the police department, good job, guys, for getting the suspect in custody. I was a little bit disappointed in you guys for being so easy on her. Why, when I watch you guys, be so harsh and so forceful to so many other people who haven't even did things as bad as what Miss Susan did, So you guys caught yourself. You caught yourself just in time, because this story could have easily been about the corruption and favoritism of the police. This could have been a completely different story. So salute to you guys for doing the right thing, what you knew you were supposed to do, because a lot of the cops was already getting tired of Miss Susan. They already knew that this lady was wrong. In the words of some of those cops I saw in the body footage walking away, some of them say stuff like "crazy bitch," So they knew it was her too, man. So yeah, and last but not least, man, shouts out to all the viewers, all the watchers, to everybody who taps in with the UTN, man, and everybody who shows me, the host, Smoke Decent, love, man. I appreciate y'all. I couldn't be half of who I am without you guys. These platforms could not be what they are without you guys. And this is ours. This is not mine. This is for us. This is more than a podcast. This is our family, ladies and gentlemen. So go ahead over there, like, comment, and subscribe. Will you please, man? Please, please, please hit the notification bell so you can stay in tune with all the content I put up on this channel. Anything, videos, pictures, whatever it is, man. I want you to be notified about it, man. And tell somebody, man, to tell somebody to go ahead and tell somebody else, man. Get me in the algorithm, man. Let's run it up, man. Let's become one of the biggest podcasts on the net, man. This has been the Unlocked Topic Network with your boy, Smoke Decent, home of the Let Me Tell You Something segment. And this is more than a podcast. We're more like family, ladies and gentlemen. So till the next time, thanks and tune in.